Hi guys, DN Neo here, and I just watched the Dragon Ball Sparking Zero full roster reveal. Just watched the trailer, or the video, and I've got a lot of thoughts. A lot of thoughts. And my mind's kind of blown, actually. In this video, I'm going to be going over the trailer step by step. So I'm going to be watching it on my phone and then jumping back to this video, and it's going to be a whole thing, but that's my problem. The other thing with this video is that I think I finally realise why I was so scared that they weren't going to do Sparking Zero right. And I think it's because game companies had programmed me that whatever it is, there was always going to be something that was going to not just disappoint me or take me out of the game maybe, but really damage the game and really damage my experience with the game. This is going to be a long ass video, guys. Also, if I haven't already said, because I'm really kind of shook up actually with what I've seen and what this all means in my head. To be honest, like, it's kind of insane. And I'm kind of a bit speechless, but obviously I gotta talk to do this video. But yeah, the trailer is 11 minutes and 1 second. And like I said, I will link the exact trailer that I'm talking about in this video down below, so then you guys can watch. So yeah, I'm going to start watching, and then I'm going to start talking, I guess, because, oh boy, there's a lot to go over. So, episode battles. We now know who the characters are that we're going to be playing with in the kind of episode battle or story mode of this game. Goku, fairly obvious. Vegeta, fairly obvious. Gohan, fairly obvious. Piccolo, but also fairly obvious. Future Trunks, considering everything going on with the Super and Goku Black, kind of obvious, but also not necessarily a obvious pick. Frieza. Now, I'm wondering, does this mean that we're going to be able to play the flip side of everything Frieza? And if that's the case, why isn't Cell or Boo in this? And I'll try to remember to talk about that later on. Or is it just going to be Super and Golden Frieza? So that's a question mark for me. But then we have Goku Black. Well, again, a villain. So does that mean we're going to actually play bits of the story that, yes, we heard about and we know happened in that timeline, but we didn't necessarily see? I'm wondering, are we going to be able to play that out as Goku Black? I am wondering. And where is that story going to start? Is it going to start in Super? Or where it started in Super, sorry, or is it going to do it in the order of the story, right? So Zamasu, is it going to be where, you know, Zamasu kind of makes Goku Black, and that's where we start, or is it going to be like in the anime, where it's bouncing all over the place? And then Jiren. Now, Jiren is an interesting one for me, again, because, yes, a massive character and important to the arc that he was part of, but there's not a lot in there for him. So again, I'm wondering, is there going to be bits maybe added on, or bits at the start where we'll see and play as Jiren when he's taken down criminals, maybe? And I am wondering, because of that, is each of these characters going to have their own tutorial? Or is it going to be strictly based on the anime? That's a question I do have, and if they do it in the way of the... I gotta try and word this right. In order of the story rather than the anime or the timeline, then this is going to flip everything for Dragon Ball Z games or Dragon Ball games. Because that's kind of always been the way, right? We play through the anime rather than through the timeline, eyes, and experience of the characters or character that you're playing as. And I am really intrigued by this motion of how and why did they pick these characters, because let me try and work it out a sec. So Goku, Vegeta, Gohan, Piccolo, Frieza. So that's 5... Wait, Goku, Vegeta, Gohan, Piccolo, Frieza. Yeah. So that's 5 characters, mainly in Z. Because it does say... Oh no, it says Future Trunks. So actually, so only Goku Black and Jiren is their stories only going to be in Super. So yeah, that's quite a good mix actually, because again, Future Trunks and Frieza are going to kind of mix in with Super. Obviously, Goku, Vegeta, Gohan, and Piccolo, they're going to fit in everything. Sorry guys, but they're gonna kind of be the mix and the shuffle in and out, right? So I am intrigued by that. I'm very intrigued by that. And is there gonna be a shuffling? Is there gonna be, well, you can't play as Frieza in the Cell arc, so will we get to play as Cell? Again, this makes me think and ask more questions than I ever thought I would about a Dragon Ball Z game. This is insane. This is nuts. This is something that even what I had in my mind of what I wanted and dreams and hopes and thinking they'll never do this, but this is what I want, and they've done this, and it's amazing. It's insane how much they've been able to pack into this game. And just to let you guys know, we're only 40 seconds into this video. This is going to be a long ass video, guys, and I'm not shortcutting this, so this is going to be long. Deal with it. Yeah, let me watch a bit more and we'll get on to the next topic. Okay, and then we get a bit about the what if, basically. The new what if, which is built into the story mode. And it seems, with what I can gather, that each character is going to have the what ifs, their own branching off what ifs. Now, obviously, depending on what character and depending what scenarios they've wanted to go with this, it could really depend on how many of these branches or these what ifs. So that's interesting. And because of that, I am now thinking like Frieza what ifs now, right? Not necessarily Jiren or Goku Black, but, you know, or Gohan what ifs. Like, what would have happened if Gohan had actually not been stopped and gone after Spokovich, as Spokovich was, quite frankly, killing Videl. And that scene, and I remember that scene visibly as a kid, and I'm like, okay, even as a kid, like, I understood, like, Gohan wants to, but he's kinda been explained that he can't. And I am wondering if that's the sort of what ifs they're going to be going into. Because it seems like the what ifs are what if scenarios rather than what if battles, right? That there's actually going to be this story within the what if. And there kind of was with the Budokai Tenkaichi, but it was more the fight, right, rather than kind of the what if scenario rather than what if battle. And that's where my thought process is going with that. Let me know what you think down below with that one. Okay, so now we get to the custom battles. Now, this is interesting to me, and there's a lot of numbers, and there's a lot of bits kind of thrown in with this, and I'm not necessarily going to go over every number, right? There's a lot of impressive big numbers. But essentially, what I'm seeing the custom mode as, and what I could potentially see the custom mode as, is a way of creating our own little episode, right? We can create the openers, we can create how they look, we can create what the visual on the screen kind of thing. We can do the dialogue with the text space, which I understand that would be a lot for a voice actor to do. So I'm not upset or disappointed by that, actually. I understand this is a new thing in the Budokai world franchise. So I'm not upset by the fact that it's only going to be text based, right? For custom kind of things that you want the characters to say. Now, side note here, I do believe that they've limited of what's okay and what's not okay as text space, which again, I completely understand. But my main thought with this is one of my favorite modes with Budokai Tenkaichi was computer versus computer. Because if you've built this kind of like okay, let me start again. Computer versus computer, right? That was my favorite mode. And with this, if you've created this scene or episode of Dragon Ball Z, Dragon Ball Super, whichever, and you've pitted characters against each other, what happens if you lose your own scenario? So I am quite intrigued by the fact that is it that you can set an auto win, like if it is the new kind of computer versus computer, does that mean that it is like watching an episode or a battle, or is it more to be creative? Because it says a lot about share with your friends, share online. And I am wondering if that's what this game mode is about. It's intriguing. It's very, very intriguing, guys. So they do mention in this about special gimmicks and special rules. And you guys can kind of see in the video that they kind of show some screens about slotting different things in. And again, that's what I mean by the customization. So again, that more says to me of challenging a player rather than necessarily about building a scenario. So again, let me know what you think about that, guys, because I am very intrigued. And again, it's the only thing that I don't know about Sparking Zero so far is the computer versus computer. And I'm sure when I get the game, I'll explain why I would want that and all of that stuff. So yeah, there's that basically. Yeah, let's keep going here. So they mention here about you can do subtitles, camera work, background music. Now, obviously, it says about share with friends online. So does that mean that they're wanting us to just share, like, privately with our friends? Or does that mean that we're going to be able to pick a music and we're going to be able to, for example, put it on YouTube? Or have they not really thought about that much? Because these custom battles, what it says to me is that this is kind of going into the, well, we know at least some of our players will be content creators, so let's give them some more freedom with that. Or was it, let's give our players the opportunity to create their dream battles and scenarios? So again, this is the part of me that's kind of split with all of this. And we're only 3 minutes and 3 seconds into the video. Oh boy. Let's keep going, guys. So they do talk a little bit here about kind of doing conditions, right? And I don't necessarily want to go over this too much, but they're saying about health and then things that can trigger. And again, that speaks to me of a creating side rather than just a private hey Bob, look at this cool thing I've created, right? Almost like like a scene or a fight from Dragon Ball Z, Dragon Ball Super. That's what this is speaking to me as, right? The fact that you can customize it to set up, that speaks to me more computer versus computer, but then it said about challenging yourself. So, again, this is why I'm so kind of, I'm confused and I don't actually know, right? So, yeah, an interesting thing to keep my eye on, and I'll definitely want to dive into it or, when I get the game. So, yeah. Okay guys, so now we're going to get into the massive part of this video where new playable characters. And there's a lot here. There is a hell of a lot. So I'm going to try and take it character by character and then some interesting thoughts at the end of this. Okay, so funnily, the first character that they show is Frieza Force Soldier. Now, this is another point for me. Did they need to do this? No. Was this going to help sell the game? No. Was a lot of people even necessarily wanting this character? No. But they still did it. And to me, that shows a lot. And that's what I meant by the fact that game companies have programmed me to think in certain ways, and this game is making me think more like a gamer again, rather than, here's what we're going to give you, be happy with it. Okay, so they show Cabba here, and they show Cabba Super Saiyan 1 and Cabba Super Saiyan 2. Again, it just shows me that, did they need to do Super Saiyan 1? Kind of, but also no. They could have just done some sort of cheat reskin for when Vegeta unlocks it for him or helps him unlock it, but they didn't. They gave us the free versions of Cabba. This, again, is very important to me and says a lot to me, honestly. Oh boy, let's keep going. They also show Frost. By the way, if you're wondering why I'm not going over every character, I'm just going off the ones that they are naming. So if you're trying to watch along with me as you're listening, that's why, guys. So, yeah, they kind of show Frost and then they quickly move to the next character, which is interesting to me, I guess. It's, yeah. They then show by name Topper, God of Destruction. Now, again, very interesting. And again, it's one of those things that they could have just added that form of him in and just done a basic bitch-ass cutscene with all of his basic stuff. But they didn't. And again, this makes me so happy, guys. You can't understand how much this is breaking my brain, because I'm able to think like a gamer again rather than some puppeted, controlled gamer of here's what you will get, have it, and you will like it. We then see Goku Teen. Which is an interesting name because he's obviously not a teen, but anyway. And this is Goku from Dragon Ball. So, again, did they need to? No. Could they have just done all of Dragon Ball in a big, juicy paycheck for them as a DLC? Yes, and they haven't. And, oh my god, it means so much to me as a gamer and as a fan of Dragon Ball Z. This is insanity how much work and love they have put on or put into this game for the fans, for the gamers. And we then start off with the quote-unquote movie characters, and we start off with the OG Broly Z. Oh my god! This is wow! I just my mind is blown, and you gotta remember, guys, when I was watching this trailer, it wasn't pausing and then talking and time to digest and all of that. It was, I'm just watching all this. And even if you're listening and then watching along, and thank you if you are doing that, but I then heavily encourage you to just watch the trailer, honestly, and just watch it. Don't pause it, don't try and look at any spoilers, just watch it, because, wow. Just a side note to add to all this. Obviously, we see the three forms of Broly. We then see it cut to the second film, I believe. Now, one thing I'm intrigued by this is, will DLC characters be something like Bio Broly? So, again, not necessarily a favourite, but it would make it an even more complete roster. I don't think we've ever had Bio Broly. So just something that just kind of entered my head. Let's carry on. We then have Cooler. Both of his forms, obviously, and then Metal Cooler. I don't know why, not necessarily in the show or in the movies, but in the games, Cooler, I don't know, he's just so cool to use, and then Metal Cooler, just so cool to use. That was not supposed to be a pun and wasn't. But anyway, Yeah, I love this. I absolutely love this. We then have Android 13, and obviously both of his forms. Again, as I was watching this trailer, guys, I was just getting not just nostalgia, but oh my god, this is my Budokai Tenkaichi 3 experience brought up to date. And that is just wow. Again, my mind is absolutely blown here, guys. We then have Super Garlic Jr. Now, a little side note, and this isn't putting a dampener on it, we only see, I think, the hulking version of him, the muscled version, not the tiny version, which you did get in Budokai Tenkaichi 3. Again, I understand why, I'm not putting it down there, but it is a point to make. So, yeah, again, I'm really intrigued how they made their choices here. I'm absolutely blown away by all of this. We then have Dr. Wheelo here. Again, interesting. Did they need to add this character? No. Was it going to sell the game? No. Was it a character that most players were probably yearning for? No. But they did it. And just wow. I promise, guys, we're nearly done with the trailer. We are 7 minutes and 41 seconds in right now. Again, Lord Slug. Did we need him? No. Did they add him? Yeah, damn friggin' right they did. Holy moly. Side note with Lord Slug. They did the giant version. Now, why am I spending a second to talk about this? Well, most of the large characters with Dragon Ball franchise and games were kinda NPC, or they weren't really thought about. The big characters are back, ladies and gentlemen. They're freaking back. And then we have Turles. Again, did we need him? Were we shouting and screaming, we will, never play the game if he's not in? No. But they did, and it's beautiful, and it makes my soul so happy. Side note, it seems that he used Piccolo for a lot of these battles, and I am wondering why. But anyway, let's carry on. Then we have Bojack. Again, one of those characters that hasn't been in a lot of games, and if he has, it's kind of been one version or the other. Amazing that we're getting both. Again, just, oh god, this trailer is driving me nuts. I love it so much. And then, of course, we have Hyrugan, I'm probably saying that wrong, and Tapion. Again, amazing. I don't think there's been many games with these characters, but here we go, Sparking Zero, doing it again, over and over and over again. I can't believe it, guys. We then have Janemba, and then Super Janemba. I'm so happy these forms are back, guys. I can't believe it. It really feels like my dream game is coming, and my mind is just so blown. I can't believe it. Interesting one here, Super Gogeta. Now, obviously the fusions have been kind of talked about quite a lot, right? Of, well, do you need both, yada 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 yada. But again, they did it, and it just, it speaks so much to me as a fan, as a gamer, that they really did understand the reasons and who they were making this for. And then, of course, we see all the kind of artwork for all those films, right? Quote unquote non-canon films. Now, I do have a question about all this. Is this going to be where they're going to be in their own little private section, or are they going to sprinkle them in when they came up and the timeline? Personally, for me, I want to see them sprinkled in where, you know, even if they're optional, right, where you can jump to the next part of the story, or you can do this kind of marathon of all of Dragon Ball Z and all of Super. That's what's going through my mind now. Is it going to be in its subsection, or did they just put them in order? Again, a little thing, but as this game keeps proving to me, the devil is in the details, and they paid attention to the friggin' devil, guys. And there we get it, the roster number, 182. My mind is blown. There's a little bit more of this trailer to go, and because I had to do something to make sure this video would work, I kind of had to take a second out from doing this consecutively. But 182 characters. Base game. That's not £182 or dollars of DLC to get 10 characters. That is 182 base game roster. Honestly, guys, my mind is shook because I don't really think that this sort of game will be made in my lifetime again. And I'm not talking about a Dragon Ball game or, you know, any of that. Just a game where the fans were obviously so thought about and so cherished, and yes, you are important, and yes, you know, if you're going to spend money on this, we're going to make sure it's worth it. And I'm excited, I'm hyper, I'm scared in case I suddenly wake up and this is all a dream. And this may sound really weird and pathetic or childish or whatever, but wow. This game, and I don't think it will, because I think there's too many, for lack of a better word, selfish companies out there. Sorry, guys. Selfish companies out there. But if companies pay attention to this, and I never thought I would ever say this, I think it's going to be the end of pay to win and pay to own a copy of a character that's just been reskinned, or a skin. Wow. But who knows, right? It could be this is all an illusion and actually it's going to be pay to win, but I just don't believe it, and I just don't feel like it's going to be. Wow. And then to kind of wrap up the trailer, they show Goku Mini from the new series that is going to be coming out. It makes sense. Am I glad I pre-ordered it for this character? No. But I just don't care. And that's the insane thing about all this. I just don't care. Because if that is the quote unquote company marketing brain, right? If that's the catch, right? That this is all kind of not all, but that's the thing of, oh guys, we're gonna show you this new Goku from this new anime coming out. Make sure you watch it and buy it, and ooh, okay. And you guys should know if you've listened to me enough. Usually, that sort of thing, I'd be like, "Oh God, really? Ugh, okay." Um, Guys, this has been a long video. A really long video, and I've kind of switched off the trailer now. Um, but wow. Um, my mind is blown, and not because of the game or how it looks or how pretty or does this game have everything that the fans have been screaming for? And it looks like it does, but it's not because of any of that. I just feel, as a gamer, I feel appreciated. I feel like they value the money that you use to purchase this game in whatever currency and whichever version of the game you buy. And I've never felt more happy to pre-order a game, and I can't remember the last time I pre-ordered a game. To wrap it up with my thoughts, guys, this game could be very dangerous for me, because I think this is going to take years of my life. My only thing, I hope computer versus computer is in this game. I know it's probably not a massive thing, but to do my dream series, I need that in this game. But even with that, if it's not, meh. And again, that's how much this game is. It's not just nostalgia now, right? Because nostalgia is past. This is in front of us. This is a future. This is a thing to come. So this isn't even just nostalgia or rose-tinted glasses. And maybe some of my videos of this game and the trailers and stuff was kind of like that. I don't really know. But this game has blown my mind, not just as a company breaking all the rules of getting gamers to spend every single pound or dollar or whatever your currency is to get the latest thing, and most of the time it's a skin nowadays. Not just as a gamer of a game that's going to keep me playing, and not just side bits that honestly I don't really care about and add 10 hours of gameplay and meh. Not just as a Dragon Ball Z fan, that, yeah, I liked Xenoverse, and yeah, Kakarot was good, the base game of Kakarot. Anyway, the DLC got a bit stupid for me. And Fighters, well, I'm not gonna talk about Fighters. You guys should know my opinion on Fighters. This game, I'm hoping the gamers, Dragon Ball Z fans, game companies are looking at closely. And I'm hoping that they are seeing this is what you do for, not in spite of, not because you need a quick buck, but for the fans of a beloved franchise. And on that note, guys, this has been a long ass video, and I just don't care, because this has, my life is over as it know it. I'm not gonna ever need to go to the toilet. I'm not ever gonna need to eat. I'm not ever gonna need to drink. I'm just gonna need Sparking Zero. This game is gonna be dangerous for the Neo. Oh boy, guys. Bring on October. Sorry this is such a long video. I imagine people are gonna get bored of me talking, but I just don't care. Thank you so much for listening. If you did get to the end and you are listening to me at this point, do me a favor, guys. Throw a like and a subscribe. And if you don't, I possibly get my dream game in October. So I'm going to get the hell out of here, and I'll catch you guys whenever the next video or stream is. Bye bye for now.